Hey y'all, you're tuned into the Daily Smoke. This is the People's Podcast. Happy Taboo Tuesdays. A note from our sponsors, Bangin' 832 Radio, www.bangin832.com. You can catch past episodes of Daily Smoke on Sundays at 7. Tamia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy, www.tamiaanderson.com. To get with life, get a massage.
Touch my body. That's part of the commercial, though.
I need voiceovers. Shout out to the South Park Coalition 35th anniversary concert this September 10th from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Scout Bar, 18307 Edward Bear Boulevard in Houston, Texas. Tickets are on Eventbrite for $25 pre-sale. VIP is only $50. If you wait to the door, tickets go up to $30 regular price. I want to shout out to the Original Buy Black Marketplace, a black vendor market, book, and art fair. All vendors are being called to action. If you're an artist, author, or a black-owned business, make sure you hit them up every first and third Saturday from noon to 6. Next Saturday, this coming Saturday, is the Black Market. Now be mindful, this is Black Business Awareness Month, so you want to make sure you're supporting. If you're a black business, come get supported, and if you'd like to support us, come to the market.
I heard that earlier today that this month
it is
Black Business
It is Black Business Awareness Month. So go to thedailysmoke.com for more info on all our affiliates and sponsors. And as always, hit that Cash App if you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, or if you want to see some more. TD Smoke. And if you're going around the city, make sure you find somebody with these great displays of all the shows that we have every day of the week. We're on air 7 p.m. Y'all stay tuned and subscribe. Hey y'all.
Hey.
How you doing, Bobby?
Doing okay.
I see, man, look, this is just some real stuff. I know y'all ain't heard his voice before. I'm so excited he spoke. Bobby, you had fun last night?
Yes.
You did? What about you, Lewis?
Oh, yeah, it was nice. It was different.
So if y'all go back to the previous shows on the Daily Smoke and catch what took place yesterday for me, because I'm pre-recording this show, but on Friday, the Daily Smoke was live and in just the happening state of celebrating a year anniversary for Puff Puff Poetry. So I'm really glad y'all were able to go out there and be seen and to see the greatest artists we have in the city.
Right. We did a TGIF live from there.
Yeah.
So they got to see a little bit. Hopefully we'll be able to put more stuff up for them so they can see what they missed. Because they really missed the show.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah, you missed it. It was really nice.
Yeah, I had a blowout. That's the only reason I didn't go. But I'm really happy that the Daily Smoke represented.
Right. I can see why that's your scene, because how they were talking and how the whole thing was vibing. It was really nice.
Yeah, poetry is where it's at, darling.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I don't know how y'all get through the day without a little rhyme scheme or anything, it's something about somebody.
Put on some rap.
Yeah, but the music drowns out the point.
Right.
Sometimes, like the acapella, where you can actually hear the bars and feel the passion. I appreciate that.
Right, that's what we enjoyed yesterday. So a lot of those points were really good,
Mm-hmm.
especially that one sister. What you said her name was? One of the best ones in the country.
Deuce?
No, the other, taller. She said she's like considered.
Oh, Free K. Yes,
she was nice.
She's one of the best in the world, for real. That's my girl. I love her. Free.K. Free knowledge.
Yeah, she
lied.
Out there. And there was another one, Gully Thoughts.
Gully Thoughts.
She
Mm-hmm.
was really good.
She's also an author.
Yeah, no, she had books and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She had a whole little setup there. But she was really good too. The way she put that out, we have some very good performance there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. So I think for today's taboo topic, we're gonna hit on marital issues. I think that there are some individuals who are experiencing relationships that are not conducive to the ways in which life is going to be most comfortable or suitable for them, mostly because they're under the impression they have to deal or accept things that they can actually change or modify. So if by chance you're an individual who is engaged in a relationship or even married and you're looking to enhance your communication, better your emotions, or express yourself more effectively, you might want to check out Mary as Tiffany, because that's one site of being able to make sure that you're communicating, engaging in intimacy and emotion translation effectively with your partners. And if by chance you live a poly life, I know sex is taboo for some, but some people actually like to balance it out and supplement. There's no shame in that, and if you want to learn how to do it, there's ways to do that too. But for marital issues, for anybody who's dealing with relationships, most times than ever, people will argue to get past points they've already gotten past. And I think it's more so that whole needing to be heard, which is why open mic is great. Some of us got a little spoiled. You know, we can get on a mic for 3 minutes at a time and express ourselves without interruption. Whereas if you're sitting at the table with your partner, they may not want to listen to all the words you say again. So one thing in particular is knowing your audience, even in your relationship, and knowing where to place your frustration. Because if you go out, invite the outside inside, and tell your friends and family how your spouse or your partner have upset you, offended you, or caused you problems, they're not going to be so loving at the table come Sunday or Thanksgiving. And that's just because you're only creating that negativity. Take responsibility for the fact that you chose this relationship and see how you can maneuver effectively. But if it's abusive, if it's not conducive to your well-being, there are ways to get out. HPD has a really great victim services program if you are engaging in a relationship that is abusive and you feel that you are stuck. Forward and Family Promise is a really great organization that will help with displaced parents and their children to stay as stabilized as possible and keep their consistency with the schools that they're already zoned to. If you ever find yourself in need where you feel like, you know, okay, Daily Smoke, y'all talk about the real stuff, but I really want to talk about the shit I'm going through, you're welcome to hit us up. Go to thedailysmoke.com and let us know what's going on. But for anybody who chose to get married, it is in your right to actually appreciate the experience and to stay married. But Los, I know you've been married. Have you been married before this marriage?
Yeah, this is my second one.
Was the first one anything like the first, like this one?
No, nothing at all. I was young, real young at the time.
So what does that mean, you were young?
You know, we got married. We were young. I didn't know shit yet. I was still young myself. I have the wisdom that I have now. That's why my relationship now is so much better, because I'm 14 years her senior, so that's one. And I've already been through it. Plus, she was going through some shit that she didn't like. So, while we met and talked, she already knew, you know, I'm not in this for some stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you over just anything. We got to talk. So what we did, we actually wrote up a contract. When we first started
a relationship contract.
We wrote up a contract that this is allowed, this is not allowed, this is something that would have to be discussed. And as time went on, you know, we followed that. I'm the one, I think, who broke the contract finally. Said, you know what?
We good.
You know,
Yeah.
If you want to move in, move in. You know, so
how long did y'all date before you moved in?
6 years.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason that was because we met on a Saturday, the 12th of April, and that day wouldn't come back on a Saturday until 6 years later. So she waited for 6 years and we got married on the same day. So that was, but yeah, no, it was, we know everything about each other. We have no skeletons in our closet.
Wait, y'all dated for 6 years before you lived together?
No, we lived together almost for about, maybe about a year. And then we started living together.
Yeah.
And then from there we lived, you know, another 5 years, 6 years, and then got married. And now we've been together now almost 10 years now.
You ever heard of a U-Haul Lesbian? So a U-Haul Lesbian is it could very well be deemed derogatory, but it's an assumed declaration where lesbians or gay couples meet and move quickly, like maybe a couple days, maybe the weekend don't stop. But it's funny. So I always ask heterosexual couples, you know, well, how long did you wait to proceed?
No, yeah. So we might have dated because I met her on the phone for work, you know. And
you liked her voice?
I liked her voice. That's what I told her. I said, you got a sexy voice. And then right away it was like, well, I'm married. I got 2 kids and I would never leave it. Okay, I didn't ask you that. I just said that you had a nice voice. That's it. I like the way your voice sounds. And finally we met. And
hold on, what happened? How did she go from I'll never leave him to finally we met? What was that gap?
I guess the more we talked, as we continued talking almost.
So y'all talked because of how you worked?
Yeah, no, she had to call in so I could book stuff for her, and then we just got to talking about certain things, and you know, we always talk. That's how I am when you call me. I'm not just business. Hey, let's do it. Your dog died. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna talk to you about that and work and whatever you got to say. I'm gonna listen. You know, so that's how we did. And eventually it got to where we finally met up. You know, when I first met her, she came to my job and she was real quick about not being seen, because I think she said she had like an in-law that worked around there. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we met again another time, we kept talking, and then we hooked up again. And then for me, it was more like, you know what? Fuck it. I know how to be single, so I'm going to jump in. If it don't work, I know how to be single. I've been single for a long time, so let's just do this. So I told myself, and go. And I'm glad I did, because best thing I ever did in my life. You know, so
yeah, you're very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. No, we don't have to. We argue, but it's not over
Healthily
shit.
though.
Yeah,
right.
no. And like I said, we know everything about each other. There's no anyone could come to her and say something. If it ain't what I've already told her, she'll know you're lying. He would have told me this, you know.
Yeah.
She knows that everybody I've been with, all the shit I've done in my life. The same thing with her. I know about her. And like I said, we had nothing. We don't.
No shame.
No
shame,
like,
no fear, no secret.
It was like uplifting to be able to get rid of some shit that, you know, that you never really tell nobody. Because I always tell you really don't know someone, because everyone always has something they've not told anyone themselves. You know, but with her and me, I told her everything about me, everything of what I like, what I don't like, how I like to do, all the stupid shit I've done, what I do, you know. And like I told her, I'm like, I know how to be single, so I'm not in here arguing with you over just dumb shit. If I wanted to cheat on you, I will not be here doing this with you right now. You know, and that was the thing that, you know, dating women, it's like, I said, why the hell would I move you into my house and then go cheat on you and get hotel rooms? I got a house. I could have just brought her over without you being here. Why would I do that kind of shit?
But people do that.
Yeah, no, I know. And I was like, why would you think? Like, you must be, you know, and because, you know, my mom, I grew up, I learned, before I left home, I learned how to do everything. Cook, clean, do what I had to do. And then, so my house would always be real nice and decorate real nice. And my mom used to decorate. Oh, you must got a girl. Why I gotta have a woman? Because my house looks nice. I know how to fix my shit up. I know how.
I'm a grown man.
I'm a grown man. I got OCD. I know what's nice and what's not nice. You know, it's like when I dress up, you know, I know what to put on so I don't look stupid. So my house is going to be the same way. I'm going to make sure that everything looks right, everything is matching. And I got that from my mom, because our house used to change almost every week. I'd have to come home and figure out the pattern to get to my room. But she would move the couches
I
around.
Swear, like I'm good for moving the couch.
My mom
and
used
a
to
few
move
things.
the couches around all the time. When I first moved in my first apartment, my friends would be like, "Damn, man, you moved it, you changed it again." I'm like, "Dude, this is
I gotta see something different." Yeah,
this is how I grew up. So I grew up where, you know, because I could move my sectional around. I could put a little piece over there, a piece over here, and make different things look different. Buy the right curtains and all that shit. It's like, I don't have to have a woman for that. I learned this from my mom. That's what she did every day, and I like that shit. You know, that plus plants and shit everywhere. So yeah, so like I said, with Amy, you know, there's nothing taboo with us.
Amy.
You know, there's nothing taboo with us.
Except the fact that y'all have a healthy relationship. Right. And sadly, that is taboo in a lot of conversations. A lot of couches don't have couples who can say, yo, he listens to me, she listens to me, they understand me, they're comforting. You know what I mean? Like, your wife just got home from shopping. Who knows what that traffic was like? Mm-hmm. I know I was in traffic on my way here. Who knows what the line was like, if they were polite to her, but her first thing was to come and greet you and give you what she got for you. Like, I love that. I love how y'all interact. It really is beautiful.
You know, and then for me, like I said, best decision I've made. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before you got married, I know you said, I know how it is to be single. I know how to do that. Have you ever experienced a breakup that was like tough emotionally or mentally?
I've had a few like that, you know, where I've dated someone for about 5 years and then it just went south for some bullshit. But all that was just teaching me where I ended up. I didn't know it at the time, but once I got older, and like I said, a long time in my life, growing up, bad credit, people calling me all the time. I told myself, if it's not going to physically kill me, I'm not going to worry about that shit. That's my motto in life.
That's the word, y'all. It's not going to kill you. No worries.
You know, if you got to send the sheriff over because I can't pay you, send the sheriff over. Tell him I'll be right here waiting for his ass. What else do you want me to do? I can't just make money to give you this, so I'm not going to worry about shit like that. I try to tell people that shit. You're like, you know what? My daughters, I've always told them, you don't need no man until you don't need no man. Then get you to do what you need to do. You can do this shit by yourself. You know, it's not that hard. You just got to deal with it. Be able to do that. What I wanted to ask is when you said about abusive relationships, is it fear that keeps them there? Because I always try to understand, like, man, if she's beating you up, get the fuck out. You know,
I think
is it fear that
I think the disconnection and questioning people who stay is the lack of understanding the circumstances they are in.
Right.
So you have some circumstances where it's a heterosexual couple, the husband is being abused, and that's embarrassing to him. It's completely emasculating in its own right. But then if you tell somebody that she's raping him, or she's forcing him, or she's hitting him, or she's holding money over him, or she won't give him sex or give him head if he don't pay this bill. Like, that's still abusive.
Right.
And the same dynamic, you have it where the woman is having that experience and he's being abusive. But if there are children, if she has no job, no source of income, if she came from a family with nothing, and he's given her this quote unquote stable life, but on the inside of those curtains are tears, it becomes a situation of logic lacking, right? Some women stay because they don't see it to be problematic. It's what they know. I must have done something wrong. I must have upset this person. I'm in trouble. It's not Stockholm all the way, but sometimes it's not an idea of I'm a grown entity and you are bypassing my boundaries for respect. Everybody doesn't have that. And even the same sense, the same disconnect of knowing why someone would stay. Why do you keep putting your hands on people? Like, what's wrong with you? People don't have emotional intelligence. And I'm not excusing abuse ever. But they don't have emotional intelligence. They don't have the wherewithal to convey, I'm upset, I'm offended, I feel, betrayed. And they think just because you told them no, or because you didn't do something the way they wanted it done, they throw things at you, they throw their fists at you. Abuse is insanely debilitating. Logic is missing if someone stays. I know I've been in a relationship that was abusive. And in all honesty, I feel like it was only abusive because I did not fight back. Right? So in those instances, it was humiliating. It was embarrassing. I knew my mama was going to kill this person. Like, it was it's safer for me not to say anything and just to keep quiet and tiptoe around these eggshells as opposed to put you out on Front Street and cause you problems, because she would have had no legs. Like, it's a thing. And some people know that people would kill behind them. That's not a game. That's not something you want to play with. But while we could debate on like the senselessness of staying, I look forward to people who abuse God's creations receiving a reason to stop.
I love you.
I'm being mindful of my tongue, right? Like, I'm being very mindful of my tongue. But I look forward to individuals who abuse God's creations receiving a reason to stop. Because it might be when you have a daughter, it might be when you have a son, it might be when someone smashes into you. But I look forward to it because some people just need to grow up. You got some folk, they don't grow up to their 40-something, and then it's like, oh well, I can use my tongue for good things and not just lashing out on anger, being mad because your job sucks, so you take it out on your home life. It's not cool. But it causes a problem. And then you have individuals who aren't even a victim of physical violence, but they feel like they can't stand on their own, and it's an inflation season. It's a recession to so many. It almost seems like it is cheaper to stay. But if it's costing you your peace, leave.
Yeah. That's why I always thought it was fear. Afraid to go because it might get worse.
Yeah. I mean, some of them say if you leave, I'll kill you.
Right.
And do you see the news? Because these people are getting mad and they're killing their kids. They literally are taking their kids in the middle of the night in their vehicle and driving to the city and killing their babies. Like, execute. I saw a news clip where this man executed his children and then shot himself. It's I would say, if Mrs. Pierce was here, we'd just be praying for him, because I'm like, Lord, I don't know what's going on with these people. I know it's hot. I know you're angry. But in all honesty, I would say breathe.
Take out your kids. That's
like,
you really don't give a damn about
like
that.
Nothing.
You really don't care about nothing. Take out your kids. You never cared about them.
I've seen so many Lifetime movies and the based on true stories about, the women who killed their children, drowned them in the bathtub, shot them point blank in the backseat of the car. I mean, all kinds of issues. And it's like, okay, are drugs that powerful? Are you that stupid?
Right.
Is the demon that big? Like, what is it?
Take out your own kids. Especially your mom. Take out kids.
But see, that's the stigma. Sometimes mothers are the most abusive.
No.
Because any time that you have, can you imagine your mother refusing to hug you? Culturally, touch is how you show love, right? Well, touch and taste, I would say, because y'all like to cook too.
Right.
But culturally, like the dynamic of expressing love is by touch. And if your mother refuses to hug you or to console you when you need comforting, that's abusive.
Right. That would mess with you after.
Yeah. But then I don't think children are equipped with the knowledge that some parents are introverts and OCD driven and don't want to be touched. And in today's society where we got COVID, monkeypox, and all these other little weird things going on, maybe you don't want to be touched. But a nice deep breath, you inhale for 3 seconds, you exhale for 7. It takes you from that anger, right? And it really is conducive. Like when you put yourself in a predicament of lacking control, you hold your breath and you go down rabbit holes of, all the things you're not doing, not getting right. It's just very destructive. But when you inhale for 3 counts, and exhale for 7, it calms you.
It won't be 5. I think
You got to do 7.
I got enough air that I just got to take a deeper breath.
You got to take a deeper breath, like you.
Right.
Y'all can't see him, but he's smiling. It
feels
feels good.
I can do 7.
It feels good. And this is the thing that you do before you answer a question, before you roll down your window, before you engage in conflict or controversy, before you respond to a compliment. Like, well, she looked nice today. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. So you can receive that compliment. Too often, I feel like we don't celebrate y'all much as a community, as a collective, but it really is nice to be on the Daily Smoke. It's beautiful to be around all these Black men who are doing great, beautiful things, who are very powerful and productive, because we don't see strength on TV screens, right? Only on Wakanda, where they dressed up like they weren't from here, but we don't see the strength of family units being upheld or spouses who are proud of their spouse, right? It's different. Just Black men who take care of their mothers. Yeah, the relationship you have, the respect, the respect, the candid conversation, the unapologetic process of getting through things. And they're human, y'all. They disagree like anybody else, except unlike other people, y'all do it with respect. It can be done. Yeah. And I think, a lot of times that's the whole issue, whether you're having issues in your relationship, having issues getting out of one, or even having issues dealing with your anger and frustration. Breathe and seek the solution. Being solution driven and oriented is the only way to get through a process. Otherwise, it's like a replay, like Groundhog's Day. Every day it's a problem. Every day it sucks. Is it you? If the common denominator is you, change the dynamics.
People don't see that. They don't see that they're the ones. Every time everything messes up, you're the only thing that's been there in all of it.
And it's not even,
if
but
it's with different people,
right?
You've done different stuff with different people, and it's always fucked up.
It's you, but it's not. Be mindful, y'all, because I know Suicide Prevention Month is coming up. But it's not to say that your life is purposeless or that you shouldn't be here. It's just, what are you doing while you're here? Because if you're speaking against the greatness of being able to share love with a person, if you're speaking against the greatness of being able to experience life in a loving, productive way, if you're speaking against what you deserve, if you're only talking about what you heard, what you've seen, and not what you desire, then it makes it almost impossible to convey any kind of experience that is, conducive to life being productive. But I do feel like some people don't understand the process of being able to truly get to a space. And I'm so excited, y'all. Right now, as I'm writing this, somebody is sitting outside about to come in, and I'm just so excited. Oh my gosh. So I have a guest coming in here. She's parking her car, and as soon as she walks in, we're gonna experience true Zen. It's gonna be beautiful. I see you parking your car. Just come right to the garage and have a seat on the sofa, because we are live and ready for you.
She made it. That's the one.
No. Shout out to Tay and Clitorit. So Clitorit is a company that you should literally be familiar with, especially if you're a person with one or who likes to engage with them. But no, Zenashe of great regard, has her own podcast, has a couple of books and workbooks, great sessions that she leads on meditation and being better and getting your Zen experience to be more Zenergized in life. And so I'm super, super excited for her to be present. So I think we'll shift taboo topics to go from relationships to talk about Plenty of Fish, because she is the publisher of something super, super dope.
How you doing? Welcome.
I'm Zen. Nice to meet you.
Then this is Bobby.
Nice to meet you.
And you'll come sit right here. We're live, honey. Come on and have a seat. So this little segment, y'all can catch us, the art of production, as you see the one and only Zenashe set up to get her phone together. But hey,
Hi.
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too.
How's everything going?
It's been great. Everything's going really well.
Yeah.
You know, the book is doing really well.
Which one?
Well, the Plenty of Guppies is doing better than the other one. So.
I think it's way more relatable. And I think once people understand that they can go through those 26 lessons and not have to experience 103 days, like, then they can go and get Zenergized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll find the transformation. It'll be beautiful. We're actually talking about taboo topics in the sense of relationship issues. So can you tell us about Plenty of Guppies and how you came up with it?
Well, what happened was that last year was the 7th year since my divorce, and I actually had this kind of epiphany that 7 is a cycle of completion, and I wanted to kind of go back and reflect on my whole journey from divorce to where I was at that moment. It was actually my mom's birthday that I had that epiphany, and she had passed 2 years before. And so I was kind of really stuck that day, but then I started writing, and I ended up starting the day that I got divorced. And, you know, I was really broken. I was really sad, but I went, you know, on this whole journey through the book from, you know, being this person who didn't have a lot of confidence, who had fulfilled the traditional roles. You know, you go to college, you get married, you have kids, and everybody says it's going to make you happy. And many women may have done that in my age group. They put their dreams on the shelf because they were told, you know, hey, your priority is your family, your husband. And then, so Plenty of Guppies was me saying, okay, it's my time.
Mm.
And I'm going to go on online dates. I'm going to explore different, you know, spirituality paths. I'm going to begin a business. I'm going to start performing. I'm going to start writing. Because I kind of put that on the shelf too. I didn't write for 17 years. And because I did not write for 17 years because I was not in a supportive environment. I was in an environment that was kind of like, okay, you're here to take care of me.
I mean, not even Post-its or haikus?
Nothing. I wrote a journal every now and then when I got really emotional. I would write journals, but I didn't write poetry. I didn't write anything else until I got divorced.
It's like not having an orgasm.
Well, it just shows you how much I lost myself, because as a writer, you probably cannot even imagine going a month without writing, much less 17 years. And so, and that was another thing that I realized, you know, when I started to date again, was how much I had lost myself. And it was actually one of the guys in the book, one of the guys that I dated, that was like really supportive of me. And I had never, again, had that. I had never had a man say, why aren't you being published? Why aren't you performing? Why aren't you doing this? I had always had them say, you know, oh, that little hobby, that doesn't matter. You know, why you're spending too much time on that.
Best on bookseller over here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really a way for me to give credit to all the people that sewed into my life, whether they were romantic or whether they were older spiritual people who sewed in my life, my parents, my grandparents, my best friends, you know, all of those people, and all of the lessons that I learned from just short interactions and even long interactions, year-long interactions. So it was my way of saying, hey, this is my journey. I've learned so much about men, about women, about relationships, about
yourself,
grieving, you know, and getting back to who you are. And I just went on this whole journey. So it was just, writing the book was intense because I actually went back through all my journals of those 7 years, and a lot of the book comes directly from my journals. That's how I was able to tell people exactly what happened. And then I have 97 poems in the book. So all the poems that I was writing at the time, you get all the background
They're
of
all
those
different.
poems. Yes. Yeah, so that was,
I don't think people wrote 97 poems in 17 years, y'all. So you made up.
Yeah, right. So yeah, well, I actually have more poems than that, but in the 7 years, like I said, I just went through so many changes, and it kind of shows you that all of that stuff had been pushed down in me. And then when I gave it the opportunity to come up, it just came up as a volcano. It was an explosion.
Boom. Like an orgasm.
Yeah. And all of that was coming out, all of the creativity, all the ideas, the risk taking, just stepping out there. Cause I was like, man, I didn't waste time in a sense because I poured it into my family, but I didn't pour it into myself.
Right. Let me ask you then. So I know that I met you on stage, but I got to know you at Ready to Exhale. I got to know you on your podcast. The breath work works.
Yes.
But what has been the most pivotal process of your healing and becoming to keep the grip of who you are?
For me, the most pivotal process was giving myself permission. Once I gave myself permission, then I really felt like there's this line in The Alchemist that I'm going to try to quote. It says, when you take the first step in faith, the whole universe conspires to help you.
Yes.
And so that was when I gave myself permission and I said, whatever doors open, I'm going to walk through them. I'm going to feel like this is God, the universe helping me. When I gave myself permission to do that, then it was like my life was on this fast forward trajectory. It was like one door opening and another door opening, another door opening, and I just kept going through them. And the more I went through them, the more things happened. And so 7 years later, I am here. And there are people like, how did you do all this? Well, I wrote in the book how I did all of it, but I can't take credit for all of it because there were so many people that just were dropped into my path. And so I have to give credit. Yeah, I have to give credit for all of the people that were there, all the opportunities that I had, all the platforms I was given, and things just multiplied. So to me, giving yourself permission and then taking the risks that come with stepping through those doors, not knowing what's going to happen, just believing that everything is going to happen for the good, And so those two things to me were just the most important things.
Have you experienced grief since you healed?
Well, in the last 7 years, I actually had 13 deaths in my life. So I have gone through a lot of grief. The book itself is a processing of my grief. Because like I said, I started it on the day my mom the anniversary of my mom passing. And I woke up that day and I was like, I would love to see her. I would love to take her out. I would love to talk to her. I can't do any of that. What am I going to do with myself? And then I just started to write. And I looked up and it was 5 hours later. And then I scrolled back up to the top of the screen. I was like, what am I even writing? And I was like, I'm writing that book that everybody says I should be writing. That's what I'm writing. So the book itself is my grief process. It was me coming to terms with all the losses and trying to give people their flowers, which I did while they were living, but it was a way for me to immortalize them.
Yes.
And say, hey, yeah, when I'm gone, you'll still be talked about. Your people will still know that I loved you and that you were so important and that you changed my life. And I will never be able to thank you enough for all
this
the
is
things.
why we're here, y'all, because on the Daily Smoke, the People's Podcast, we get to document the process of greatness about this earth. This woman right here, true, regal greatness. Okay, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for coming. You have no idea.
Where can we get your book at?
My book is on Amazon right now.
Leave a review.
Yeah, there are eight reviews on Amazon right now. So you can get it on Amazon. I do have some copies that I take with me when I've been. So I did bring some copies with me that are in my car. Well, I have one in my backpack. But yeah.
It's something really special about this particular book, y'all. She's got like 3, including the workbook.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular book it comes with some tools and tips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the book. And when you... Plenty of Guppies and Other Dating Misadventures. The title is a play on plenty of fish. They say there are plenty of fish in the sea.
Right.
So when you get single, people are like, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea. And that's true. You'll meet somebody. But in my experience, most of those fish you throw back, so they're guppies.
Okay.
You know, so, but I did meet some wonderful fish and some sharks and some dolphins and all kind of things in the sea. You know, there were all kind of wonderful and interesting things in the sea. So this is like the A to Z of my life, you know, so it starts with attitude. Attitude is the first chapter. And then it has a timeline. And then it does have, for every guy that I went on a date with, there is actually a fish. So every guy has his own fish. And then when you get to the poems, there are pins for every poem. So you can know that you're about to read a poem because of the pins. At the end of every chapter, it actually has a little light bulb, and it has the lesson I learned. She was talking about 26 lessons. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. So at the end of every chapter, there's actually a lesson. So you see the light bulb and you see the lesson. When you see the fish going all the way across, that brings you to the present, because I'm actually still friends with several of the guys that I went out with. And at the end of the book, you actually have all the 26 lessons at the end. So you can actually have, you know, a reference to all the 26 lessons. So
Amazon, plenty of guppies. Zenashe.
yeah, if you go to Amazon and you put in plenty of guppies, it'll come right up. It's been like that. I released it on February 9th. It hit #1 in Native American poetry within hours. And today on Kindle, it's number 60. So it's still on the bestsellers list in Kindle. It's not on the bestsellers list in paperback anymore, but the Kindle book is still flying off the shelves in a sense, you know, digitally. So yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking about the taboo topic of relationship issues. And you just said something very, very powerful. I'm still friends with some of the guys I dated.
Mm.
So I'm just wondering, for like all of our viewers, can you define friends?
Okay. For me, when I say I'm still friends with some of the guys I dated, I mean completely platonic friends. I mean, like one of the guy that's in the first chapter, JJ, he's married now. He lives in either Corpus or Dallas. I don't even know, but he's still my Facebook friend. He still comments on some of my posts. Every now and then we DM each other. Hey, how you doing? How the kids? That's it. It's not any flirting. It's not any of that. But then, of course, in the book, anybody who's read it knows that I've had friends with benefits. Mm. So I am a big supporter of friends with benefits for those people who can handle it. It is not for everybody. If you cannot keep your emotions in check, do not do it. If you're going to get attached and get jealous, do not do it. If you're going to be, well, maybe he's going to change his mind or she's going to, no, do not do it. So I do believe, you know, we're talking about this whole relationship issue thing. There's a lot of women my age and at many different ages who
over
are like,
30. Yeah,
who are feeling like these sacrifices they made in relationships were way up here, and the benefits of those relationships were way down here. And
no orgasms, y'all. That's what that means. No orgasms. She gave a lot and did not come.
Well, when you have the friend with benefits thing, to me, it's completely equal. You're going to give and get at a very reciprocal, you know, you may go out on dates. Some people do with their friend with benefits. Some it's just the booty call. You know, everybody has different boundaries. Some people let the guy spend the night and leave at 5 a.m. You know, it's up to you.
She wanted to cuddle.
Yeah, you know, it's up to you. You know,
or
but
morning night.
But you have to know going in what you're gonna do.
So I'm gonna tease her a little bit. So you gotta know going in if you lack the ability to adjust, adapt, and move forward. Because a nice table talk. Hey, came in, just wanted to fuck, but you can cook. So maybe we should talk about a couple other things, right?
Right.
Are you open to changing the dynamics of relationships or no?
With my friends with benefits, they always ended up becoming more of a situationship. Mm-hmm. They ended up becoming more of almost a relationship, but not the commitment. because I generally attract a very intelligent, articulate, sophisticated, manly man.
Okay.
Okay, that's my guy. That's who I mean. I don't,
Links and everything. Okay.
so any guy that is like that and we vibe and then the sex is great, then after a while, like I said, it depends on the time.
Okay.
So let's say it's 3 months, I'm probably good. 6 months, there's probably gonna be a little attachment. A year, okay, we're gonna have to talk because that's a long time to be seeing somebody consistently so for me, yeah, there have been some situations where we had to revisit because we were like, okay, this is evolving. What is it evolving to? And where are we going to stop this? You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I ended up in an open relationship. Because we were basically like, this is not a friend with benefits thing anymore because there's feelings here, but we still don't want to commit. We still want to be able to see other people, but you still my dude. I'm still, so it can evolve into that. And sometimes it can evolve into a committed relationship. It just depends. So I just think that you have to be very mature.
And you gotta be very forgiving. You gotta be very forgiving, Sam, because if y'all fucking and open and then now he wanna close the door, first of all, I know your patterns. So am I going to be graceful and quiet and let you show me different, or am I going to keep one eye open and expect you to do some stupid shit? Before you got here, we were talking about, most times it's because you carried over, the residue of a recent relationship or past issues, or you spoke into existence the continuation of the bullshit you were dealing with. So how is your manifesting experience when it comes to dating and how you want it to go? Like, do you let things flow and see how it happens, or do you have intentions set and like, okay, if this is not met, this information not needed, like, no?
I believe a lot in manifestation, and with relationships, I feel that I, in a sense, manifested some of the people that came into my life because they came in with exactly the right energy, the guidance, the support, whatever it was that I needed at the time. And then when their role was done, they just faded out. You know what I mean? And it wasn't any like, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my God, why are they leaving? It just felt natural.
Yeah.
And so for me, can you restate? Because you asked me about manifestation, but you said something else.
Your manifestation process, y'all know I ain't gonna be able to repeat it verbally, but what is your manifestation process like when it comes to dating? Like, do you just go with the flow and let things happen, or do you have intentions, and if it's not met, you ain't going?
Okay. I already mentioned some of my intentions. I have a certain thing that attracts me, and if a man is not in line with those things, I'm not interested.
Gotcha.
Okay. I have written down many times things that I was looking for and kind of put it out into the universe. And actually that has been I have gotten exactly what I asked for. Okay. On that. So I'm very happy with the people that have been in my life. Yeah. I've been very happy because everything that I asked for what I needed. But sometimes I actually got even things that I didn't even know I needed because that person came with extra stuff.
Come on, extra?
Extra. Yeah, extra. So that was
like
a beautiful
length and
thing.
girth, or like conversation and resources?
Well, extra for me was like, for example, I didn't know how much like romance was to me because I was never with romantic guys. Right? So I didn't think I really needed that. I didn't think it was high on my priority. But when I had written down all the things I wanted, romance was not really on the list. It wasn't even, I was like, I don't need that. Yeah. But then I come with, this guy comes and he's romantic and he's buying flowers and he's bringing a bottle of wine over and he's, brought the massage oil and I'm like, oh.
He's setting the standard, honey.
Oh, okay. And we rented this hotel room and, we made this whole thing, a whole experience. I'm like, wow, okay, that's a whole new level. I wasn't expecting that, but I ain't complaining. So, it was great to get everything that I asked for that I wanted to manifest, but to get so much more, it was like, wow.
Come on, perks.
Yeah, so
Is that why when us romantic guys get with girls that don't seem to understand or want us, because that's not how she's going to get? Because there's so many out there that's like, there's no good men out here. There's a lot of good men. You just
Chivalry's not required. Some women are never. For me, I don't think. Even me, I don't think romance has been the thing to expect because it wasn't expected, right? But I think the presentation of it, that nice subtle surprise, like even over 30, it's like, yo, like I got flowers one time, I cried. I got some soap, I cried. Like, I mean, I'm so sentimental and emotional just to be thought of. I appreciate, but you gotta back it up with the damn stimulation, right? But I would say it's not always because they don't think it's possible, because yes, y'all exist, but for some women, it's not witnessed.
And I think that there is it's not that I never experienced romance, it's that most men that I met were either flash and cash and romance and he's handsome, sexy, this, but there's no consistency. The first time you need him for something real, oh no, he ain't there for that. You know what I'm saying? He's not the person that you can lean on because all he has is this outer shell. So if I need a shoulder to cry on, I need you to come change my tire, or I'm really going through something. Nah, he ain't the one to call, because if I call him, it's a bunch of excuses.
But he might have tools though, Zen. He might have a vehicle you can use. Mm-hmm. He might have AAA to get that tire changed because his manicure might be right. Like I would go as far as to say maybe not to expect the dirty shit, but the supportive thing, right? Because it is not romantic to buy flowers from a company that delivers them in a box. That's not romantic. That's lazy. Sorry, y'all. It's lazy. For somebody who can see dandelions on the side of the street and think of you and pick them and not let them blow away because they're gentle, like, that's romantic. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. Intention and consistency, as you stated, but you got to connect. If you're just going to go through the process and be like, oh yeah, that's some pretty shit, like, no, it's not Kroger on the 14th of February. Like, no, like, it should be just because. It should be thoughtful. It should be sensual. It should be sexy. It should be sincere. Don't go through the motions and tease people because then you present them with the truth that it's not. And that's not fair.
Yeah. So, and then intentions matter too, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. There is a guy in the book that I've cut off multiple times, even though he is an amazing lover. I mean, just amazing, like primo, okay? Great in every sense of the word. But
where's he fucking up?
Huh?
Where did he fuck up?
Well, he stood me up a couple of times.
Him?
Yes.
You can hear about his ass on the podcast I was on. Breathe. Okay.
Yes, him. And so, for some reason, just that whole responsibility issue. He was one of those guys where, oh, my friends know I'm absent-minded. My family knows I'm absent-minded. So you should know. Does not
mean you don't do something about that. Okay.
Right. So, and that was one of the things we had to come to, where he was like, I kept putting you in that category of, my friends know this about me, my family knows this about me, so why is she tripping? I'm not your friends, I'm not your family. I don't have to stick around. They got, they have reasons that they stick around with you. Yeah. I stayed because of our connection and because of the respect that I feel. But if you're not showing me that respect, I'm gonna bounce. Right. You know what I mean? Now your family, we put up with a whole lot of stuff from our families that other people would not put up with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, you can't, and finally he kind of got that, and he kind of was like, I'm not gonna do that ever again. But it took a long time.
But you know what?
I
think I hear it different. You telling me this grown man is accepted for being lazy and inconsiderate and inconsistent by everybody. Anybody telling him shit. But you have standards and requirements, honey. And he knows something else is good with you to even address it and want to make a change. Hey man, good job. Because I've been hearing about it. And so I feel like that's some big old brownie points. That's like some reverse cowgirl experiences. Like, he deserves extra.
I don't know, I'm just meeting you. You don't know that I'm on this thing. So why would I do that? Maybe after we meet, we hung out for a while, we'll start to know.
Nah, no, Lowe's.
Do that at all.
You can't pretend to be on time. No. Be honest.
No, yeah, true.
I'll start telling your ass 30 minutes before we're supposed to be there, so you'll be on time. Like, I can adjust. A little white lie. But don't pretend to be punctual and then fail. Like that's that representation. We can't do that. See, Los, he's married. He don't need this advice. Some of us need to know. You gotta tell us like the circumstance of setting intentions, right? Like Los's wife is spoiled. But it's like a mutual exchange because she spoiled this man in real life. Like he's just happy. Look at him. He's so happy. They're really cute. But no, I think it's more so the fear. Okay, so before you got here, Los asked, is it fear that makes women stay when it's abusive? And even more so, is it fear of being denied what you want to not ask for it?
Okay, I can speak to abuse because I was in an abusive marriage for 5 years. I can only speak from my perspective. I can't speak for every woman that's in an abusive situation.
Come on, disclaimer.
All right. So I met this guy and I didn't think he was my type. He was much more sophisticated than I was, knew how to, play game on me. I'm naive. I don't know anything about men. I'm just sheltered little girl, sheltered young woman. So we get married. My parents love him. We've gone to church together. All I was told in church is marry good Christian man. I mean, that's about it. I don't know what to look for in a man. So he starts to kind of exert this dominance over me. And in the beginning, I'm like, oh, it seems protective. It seems good. Then it becomes more and more and more. So when it comes a time when I'm like, this is not right, and I start to speak up, first off, by that time, the person has cut you off from your family, your friends. You have no support system. They make you feel guilty about everything you do. They make you doubt yourself. So there's been so much that's been taken away from you mentally and emotionally that it's difficult, one, to develop the strength. And secondly, the most dangerous time for a woman who is in an abusive relationship is when she starts to leave or has left. Because when he feels he's lost control, as far as he's concerned, it don't matter what he does to you. He could kill you. All right. So, when I left 3 times, and generally it takes women 3 times to leave. First time I left, he went and got me, physical altercation. I called the cops. I'm all torn up and bloody, and they basically tell him to leave for a little while, cool off, and they not going to take him anywhere. They're going to let him come back to the house. That showed me I can't trust the cops.
Was that in Houston?
That was in Houston. But this was in what was it? I got divorced in 99, so this had to be 1997.
We've grown, y'all.
Okay.
HPD got a victim services unit that is so incredibly supportive for
okay, well, that's what happened to me in 97. Yeah. So I left again in 98, okay? And went to stay with my parents. He came over there, was very, very belligerent. I'm thinking, oh my God, I brought this mess into my parents' house. What have I done? Him and my dad are at odds. I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? So I leave. He ends up getting arrested because he takes the police on a police chase. He ends up getting arrested. All right. I leave again. Okay. 3rd time I've left. I got a friend to help me move. I had 3 garbage bags and a mattress. That's all I had to my name. Get into a new apartment. Everything. I've left no trace of myself. Okay. He doesn't know where I am. I am gone.
Because it's the 90s.
Right?
She ain't got no TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Right. Exactly. I don't have any of that. And they send a postcard to my old address thanking me, the new apartment I had, for coming to do coming to tour the facilities, and they're hoping I'm gonna become a new resident. I already signed the lease. He shows up with the postcard. They told him where I was. That was the 3rd time I left. So by that time, I got a protective order, which he didn't care. He came to the house, came to the apartment. My kids weren't there, thank God. I run out of the apartment. I get in my car, and then we had these bars. What do they call the thing that kept people from stealing your car? You put it across the lock bar, the wheel lock, right? So I pull that off. I do the key, pull it off. He reaches in, takes that, and starts bashing all the windows in my car while I'm sitting in the car. And he's like, you ain't gonna get away from me, and nah. Okay? I drive to the cops, which is like maybe 10 minutes away. I get out, I'm covered in glass, and the cop says, are you still married? I said, yeah. He said, well, there's nothing we can do to him because that's community property. He didn't physically touch you. What do you want me to charge him with? I can't charge him with assault. He didn't touch you. I can't charge him with destroying community property. It's his too. He can do whatever he wants in car. That's what I'm saying. I'm cut. I'm bleeding. You can't charge him for no. That just happened.
Pretty much
So I ended up basically having to deal with the court system to try to get them to I said, didn't he violate the protective order? He had to get within a certain amount of feet. He was like, well, if he was there, if he was still around you, we could arrest him, but you drove away from the situation. So I'm supposed to stay there so they can come around. I'm like, you know what?
Okay, so you completely answered. So that's why they stayed.
So what I'm trying to say is it took me going through the court system and fighting for my rights. It took CPS getting involved. It took a lot for him to finally stay away and change. Now, from that time to this time, he hasn't been violent to me. We hardly ever are in the same room or around each other at all. I've been around him twice since we got divorced. All right. But the point is, women generally don't get the protection they need to leave. When they leave, generally it hurts their families because he shows up. It can hurt their job because he shows up. The police don't always support them. It can be a whole big mess. So yes, should you leave? Yes. Is it easy? No. It is very difficult because the men don't want to let their control go. And they will do whatever it is to make you afraid of leaving, threatening you, threatening your family, threatening your friends, going up to your job, trying to get you fired, all kind of stuff. So it's difficult. It's not, people think it's so easy. Just leave. Yeah, I left 3 times. That's what happened when I left.
You want to talk about a taboo topic, y'all. But what's really beautiful to me is how this testament is not just talking about the triggers of being mishandled, but the greatness of being able to come out of that. Like you are truly chiseled in your greatness and the way that you allow people to experience your growth and what you witnessed to turn it into an opportunity for them. Thank you. Thank you, Zan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have anything we can do to support you in your upcoming quarter? What's going on with you? What's your podcast? Because Daily Smoke is supportive.
So I have a podcast called Zenergy. It's spelled Zennurgy. I'm always looking for sponsors. You can just, type in Zenergy on any Google platform or whatever. And you actually can go down to the bottom. It says, want to support this podcast. And you can support me through Patreon. You can support me through, like I said, that link at the bottom of the podcast where it tells you where to go. So you could drop, money in the Cash App. You could drop money in PayPal. Going on Amazon, you can buy, the book. I do sell a lot of other inspirational merchandise. I have a website.
She got bookmarks too, y'all. They're cute.
Yeah, I have. It's a self-development podcast. It's A to Z self-development. So I do have people come on. The first 30 minutes is on a self-development topic. Like actually today I have somebody, I'm going to be heading home to record virtually. I do virtual and in person. So today we're talking about how to flourish. All right. So that's our topic. And I have a topic on expectations coming up tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about expectations and how those could be good and bad, in terms of relationship development, self-development, things like that. So just basically A to Z. So the first 30 minutes is on the topic. The second 30 minutes is on the guest. So it's an hour-long show. And you can find me on 25 different streaming platforms. I do have this book. I do have guided journals. I do workshops. I'll be performing with Skies and Stars on the 27th. I vend a lot too. So I try to vend every Saturday at the Shrine of the Black Madonna when they have their black market.
Yeah, we just
announced
that. We've been announcing that.
Right. Yeah.
She'll
so
be
I will.
There, Black Business Awareness Month. Energize your life, honey, and get you this book. Save you some trouble.
And even if you stop at the shrine when I'm not there, they do have my books in their case. So you actually can buy my books and support the shrine at the same time. I do have the books in, about 7 different bookstores around Houston. Day 6 Coffee House, buy the books, Village Books, Brown Sugar Cafe and Books.
Katie.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of places. Those are the 4 that come to my head. So yeah, I would love for, the support. If you want to book me as a speaker, if you want to book me as a poet, I'm definitely looking for bookings because I am retiring in January. I'm going full-time as an artist and performer.
Long live the arts! Oh, we gotta get you on a Thursday too, y'all. Let me tell you something.
You gotta come on your podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, let me tell you these guys.
Yes.
4 strong black men doing great, beautiful things.
Okay, awesome.
So that they smoke like you in the Wolf's Den.
I see.
So it's the thing. Yeah. So this has been Taboo Tuesdays. I am your host, the Word Mortician. We are on the Daily Smoke, the People's Podcast, and my beautiful guest, Zenon Shea. Please be supportive and show love, and know that if you are in an experience that is not conducive to your well-being, there is a way. And if you need help, just let us know.
Peace.